Recording in progress.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Aiden, if you keep doing that, then we're just not gonna continue. Give me a second. This Zoom is all right. We're gonna talk about the fourth lesson of Greek mythology and Percy Jackson. Although in the next ones we will mostly talk about the stories first and then give a reference to earlier stuff and maybe some Percy Jackson. So now it's gonna be more Greek mythology and less Percy Jackson. So no, don't worry, we'll still talk about Percy Jackson a lot. Does anybody know what this is?
Apple. Golden apple.
It's a golden apple. Well, not Athena's, unfortunately.
That's Pip's apple, isn't it?
No.
Ladies' apple.
Well, no, technically it's the apple. Yeah, it's the apple of Discord, Eris's apple. All right, guys, we're not gonna Discord, and Discord means conflict and strife. Who is this? Yeah, Percy Jackson from the first movie when he wasn't bald. He has a sword and a shield, right?
What ball?
Yeah. But didn't Percy get a haircut in the second movie?
He's a ball.
Yeah, but he's almost bald. Okay, he got a buzz cut. All right. So, does anyone know why this golden apple is significant?
Because it has the same pattern right now.
Well, no, it doesn't have the same pattern, but it's not Hercules, it's unfortunately. It caused the Trojan War, right? So today we're gonna talk about the Iliad. Do you any of you guys know what the Iliad is?
The book?
Yes, no, it's epic. It's epic. Guys, if you're gonna eat your egg tart, eat at the table, okay? Just sit down. No, that's the Odyssey.
Oh.
Well, okay, we're gonna continue. So this is Homer. This is Homer. Not yet.
Oh, why that?
Homer, do you guys know who Homer is?
He's Homer. Homer Simpson.
Yeah, this is Homer Simpson. But this is the Greek Homer, the author of Iliad and the Odyssey. These are the two very famous epics.
That's a statue.
Yeah, that's a statue of him. But
that's not a statue of him. It's supposed to be a statue of him.
yeah.
I could try to make
Right.
it an actual.
Yes. Iliad and the Odyssey. These are the two epics which we will discuss in the next one today and the next 3 days. So we're gonna spend today and tomorrow about the Iliad and the other 2 days about the Odyssey.
That's the entire week.
Yeah, except for Friday. Friday, you guys can have fun. This is Homer, right? Homer, not Homer Simpson, because we're gonna go Greek mythology, right? So we're gonna watch a short video about Homer, okay?
Stop.
We're gonna watch a short video of Homer, okay, guys? So everyone quiet down and we can watch the video. Oh. Oh, who is this?
Who's that? Stop.
Why can't I turn up the volume? Why is this so quiet?
Iliad and the Odyssey. But here's the thing, nobody really knows for certain who Homer was. According to the ancient Greek tradition, Homer was a blind poet who composed these masterpieces around the 8th century BC. However, there was no hard evidence to support this claim.
Yeah,
There is not even any concrete proof that a single person named Homer ever existed. Now, some scholars argue that the poems attributed to Homer were actually a collection of works from multiple anonymous bards that
Let's go through this really quickly. Don't worry, there's much longer than
this
this.
suggests that the Iliad and Odyssey were
Andrew, stop playing video games. Yes, you are.
Andrew, we have to close your computer now.
Imagine a bunch of ancient Greek bards sitting around a campfire, each adding their own twist to the story. Others suppose that Homer was indeed a real person, but his true identity has been lost to this time. And then there's some who even suggest that the name Homer could be a pseudonym used by a group of poets. It's like the ancient Greek equivalent of Banksy. To make matters even more confusing, there are also claims that the Homeric poems were not originally Greek, but were influenced by earlier Near Eastern epics. So Homer might have been more of a remix artist rather than an original wordsmith.
Right.
There's also an argument that the Iliad and the Odyssey were written by two different people, and that argument focuses mainly on the fact that some of the language and style of language used in each of the poems doesn't quite match. So it's like to say I were to write a manuscript and then claim that it was a long lost story of Jane Austen. People would be able to tell that it's written by her. So the identity of Homer remains elusive, but whether Homer was a single blind poet or a collection of bards or a mythical figure, one thing is for certain, his work continues to captivate and inspire us to this day.
Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, guys. So, do you guys know who wrote Percy Jackson? Who wrote Percy Jackson? Rick Riordan, right? How do we know?
Because it says on the book.
It says on the book, right? And The Iliad and the Odyssey are two very famous epics or poems, books, but we don't know who Homer specifically is, right? Because
Ew.
no, I'm not Homer. I didn't write these. Homer is because back then, right? They didn't have modern printing. They carved on stuff. They maybe had scrolls and stuff. And so that's why we don't really know who exactly Homer is. But for the sake of this, we're just gonna refer to him as a blind poet because that's what the most popular theory is. Very nice. Is this my test from like third grade? Oh my God. Okay, next. So, oh my God, look at this amazingly edited picture.
What wasn't blocked out? Is it because
But,
we're not learning
yeah,
about
no, because they're no. I didn't block them out in the original place. I blocked them out because they don't participate in the Trojan War. These are the people involved in the Iliad. We have Zeus, Hera, Ares, if Aphrodite, Leto, Hephaestus, Athena, Hermes, Poseidon, Artemis, Xanthus, and Apollon. Leto is the parent of one of some of these gods, and no, unfortunately not. Xanthus is a small god. He is not an Olympian god. He's just the local river god of Troy. He's also known as Scamander. Scamander, like as in the lizard. Scamander. Yeah, yeah. Leto is the Iliad. Iliad.
Why did you do it for Lino and Xanthus?
Because Xanthus and Leto weren't originally on this picture.
No.
Leto is another minor goddess.
Is he your mom?
No, unfortunately not. So who do you think is the most powerful in here? Zeus, right? Zeus. So there's one scene in which Zeus basically fights against every other god and he wins.
What?
Yeah, he's super powerful. Well, at least he says he can do it. All right, who's your least favorite out of all these?
Least?
Least favorite. Who do you think is the weakest?
Napoleon or Hephaestus?
Okay, anyone else?
No, Hephaestus is.
Hephaestus is strong. See, all of these are Olympian gods except for these two. And Leto is actually a parent of one of these gods. I think it was.
Apollon.
Yeah, she's the parents of Apollo and Artemis. She's the mom. So yeah, so Xanthus is actually the least powerful one because he's just a local small river god. And and later Achilles even beat him, and Achilles is immortal. So this isn't very strong. Okay, we'll talk about Achilles in a bit. Remember we talked about Achilles last time. Anyway, Achaean gods. Do any of you guys know what Achaean means?
No, idiot.
Well, basically, what we'll talk about Achaean soon. Achaean means the Greek side. So the Iliad is about the Trojan War, and the Trojan War is the Greek alliance fighting against the city of Troy. And you might think all of Greece against one city is very hard, but unfortunately, the Trojan walls were built by Poseidon and Apollo when remember that time when I told you guys about Thetis, how she freed Zeus when Zeus was betrayed by his fellow gods? And Zeus then punished them, right? And one of the punishments was to send Poseidon and Apollo as mortals to build the Trojan walls. That's why they're so strong. And that's why the Iliad lasted 10 whole years, even though they didn't even do any fighting in the first 9 years. So that's why the Iliad is about the last few weeks where they actually fought. So the Achaean means basically the Greek Mediterranean alliance. You guys know where Mediterranean is, right? Like Greek, all the islands in Greece.
Like the British Isles.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not all of Europe, just like Greece and Italy, like right now Italy. So these are the gods on the Achaean side: Poseidon, Hermes, Hephaestus, Athena, and Hera. On the Trojan side is Apollo, Ares, Aphrodite, Xanthus, which because he's the local god, Leto, and Artemis. Right? Yes. Whoa.
On the
Yeah.
inside, why are there 5 gods, goddesses named that start with A?
Well, maybe they just wanted to be special, you know. Anyway, it's just a coincidence. Okay, well, I'm gonna introduce some characters. If do you guys want to watch this though? These might have some spoilers for what happens. Do you guys care or no?
No.
All right, so these will give some basic reviews about characters.
No. Oh, it's so loud. I'm over. How do you pronounce it?
Pronounce what?
The Iliad.
Iliad, yes, Iliad. He's right.
Both mortal and gods in the Iliad.
Iliad?
But this
So annoying, but so love.
first Achilles.
I want
Achilles
you guys to
is
pay
the
attention.
hero on the Achaean side of the Trojan War, and he's the son of Thetis, a sea goddess, and Peleus.
Remember we talked about Achilles during
our
hero.
Yeah, no, be quiet. I want to listen to it.
When he's fierce and merciless in battle.
Wait.
Love, jealous, pride.
He's the author of
Radiant form of Agamemnon replaces the loss of one of his prizes of war, seizing one of Achilles' prizes. Till Agamemnon apologizes, Achilles and his men will not fight for the Achaeans. And Achilles even asks the gods to assure Agamemnon and his forces experience defeat without him, resulting in much bloodshed. The sense of honor doesn't allow for any compromise. The loss of a friend and the appeals of an enemy bring out his humanity in the end. Then there's son of King Priam, Troy, greatest hero on the Trojan side. He's also a brave and fierce warrior, fighting for his city and his family. His interactions with his family, and especially his brothers, demonstrate a strong sense of responsibility. His duty to Troy gets overridden by his pride, leading him to foolishly face Achilles in a fight he cannot win. Agamemnon is king of Mycenae and leader of the Achaeans. He's a powerful, proud man.
Sure. I don't know.
Heard the great hero Achilles rage. Even after he realizes the cost of his actions, he only offers reparation, not apology. He's been promised victory at Troy.
Agamemnon's a jerk.
He's been
We don't like him.
Priam.
So whenever I mention Agamemnon, I want you guys to say, freak off Agamemnon. Yeah.
He humbled himself to appeal to Achilles personally for the return of his son Priam. Thetis is a goddess and mother of Achilles, and she carried
We talked about these people.
wishes to Zeus to persuade him to grant them. She replaces Achilles' lost armor with a new set forged by a god, tortured by the knowledge that her son is fate to die. But Paris is the prince of Troy, who stole Helen from Menelaus, starting the Trojan War. He's more a lover than a fighter at heart. He can be roused to honorable combat, but he's not terribly effective at it. And Paris doesn't seem to feel much responsibility for the war he brought on his city. His status as a prince and the favor of the goddess Aphrodite makes him one of the heroes. Patroclus is Achilles' closest friend and comrade in arms. The two are raised together, making them nearly brothers, very close. Patroclus is compassionate and he feels the suffering of the Achaeans, but when he tries to temper the effects of his friend's rage, it brings about his own tragic death.
Oh, he's so dramatic, right? So Sigma.
Well,
All right, so we're gonna go through the important Achaeans. You guys don't have to memorize this, just like look at them, okay? These are the important Achaeans and the important Trojans. However, huh? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go through these, all right? Agamemnon, he was mentioned in the video, right? He's the High King of Mycenae. He's basically the leader of the Achaeans. So I want you guys to remember these two sides, Achaeans and Trojans. Achaeans are the Greek people, and Trojans are the ones that are the defending the Trojan people. Agamemnon is the leader. Menelaus is Agamemnon's brother, but he's younger brother, right? He's also the one that had Helen stolen from him. He's the one that basically wanted this war to happen. Odysseus is their smart guy. He's also the king of Ithaca, which we will mention a lot in the next part, which is the Odyssey. Achilles. You guys remember Achilles, right?
yeah.
We talked about Achilles. Patroclus, also pretty important, friend of Achilles. Now, these two Ajaxes, they're not that important, but they're also great warriors. Yeah, there's also Nestor, which is an old guy who is somewhat important, and Diomedes, who is also a very powerful warrior. And Diomedes actually, when Athena was helping him, he actually was able to beat Ares. Like, yes?
I think the Diomedes had like man-eating forces or something.
Oh no, those were a different person's forces. Those were a different Diomedes. That was from Hercules, is one of Hercules' trials. Yeah, those were a different Diomedes. Now Trojans. Hector is the prince of Troy. He's also Troy's strongest warrior. Paris is the one that sort of started everything, the one that stole Helen, prince of Troy. And these people are mostly just other heroes. Pandarus, Sarpedon. Aeneas also has his own story in which he started a city that was basically Rome. and he later ran away when, well, sort of Aphrodite made him run away. Priam is the old king of Troy. Hecuba, less important. Andromache is the wife of Hector. Scamandria, etc. These aren't that important. And Helen is the wife of Menelaus, which Paris took. So we will talk about why that happened. So this is a short image. This is from a graphic novel. If you guys ever feel interested, there you can check them out at the library. It's a very interesting graphic novel about the Iliad. That's Agamemnon. He's old and he looks like a jerk. That's Odysseus. Wait, that? No, this is Odysseus. That's Menelaus. Odysseus is the wise one. Menelaus is the one that looks very angry. Achilles, Patroclus, no Ajax, big Ajax, and etc. These are the important Trojans. As you can see, the Trojans have considerably less, right? Do you guys want to guess on why they have less people than the Achaeans? Because Achaeans, they're the whole Greece. Troy is one city. Achaeans is like basically the whole Greek alliance. It's actually amazing how Trojans were able to hold out for so long. Except they didn't. It sort of ended in like a few weeks. The only reason they held out for so long because the Achaeans didn't want to actually fight them because it would be too tiring to defeat those walls. So that's Hector. He's the strongest one, and Paris, who is the one that's he's a bit weak. And that's Helen. Helen was known as the most beautiful woman, and that's why she sort of caused this in a way. So, do you guys remember the video I showed you guys in the first lesson where it was like Zeus had a bad temper? Remember that one? Remember that one? Remember how they talked about Ares? What was Ares's weapon? Yeah, a bronze tipped spear. And I told you guys that was the standard weapon, not just Ares's weapon. That was the standard weapon for all Greek people. You see all of them with bronze spears and stuff and bronze shields. And we're gonna go over basic Greek war equipment, okay?
Hoplite.
Yes.
The heavenly armed soldier.
Hoplite, ancient Greece, 7th through the 4th centuries BCE.
No.
As the core of the Greek military from the 7th through the 4th centuries BCE, hoplites derived their name from the phrase hapla, meaning equipment or tool. Greek hoplites were heavy infantry soldiers, citizen soldiers who equipped themselves when called to fight for the polis or city-state. In Athens, males from ages 18 to 20 completed 2 years of compulsory military service. When Athens was at war, men up to the age of 60 could be called into action. Other city-states like Corinth similarly formed military forces when needed, rather than have a professional standing army.
They don't actually have a professional.
Training during the first year included wrestling and other activities to build physical strength, agility, and endurance. The second year emphasized military duties such as patrolling, living and manning barracks, and working alongside veterans. Hoplites also spent time doing drills and becoming comfortable with the phalanx formation, while simultaneously learning how to most effectively use their weapons. In a few city-states, most notably Thebes, a small fighting force was kept on hand permanently. The group of elite fighters in Thebes, known as the Sacred Band of Thebes, was made up of 150 men who swore to fight for each other to the death. The exception to the general system of calling an army when needed was Sparta, where young boys were trained to be soldiers from a very young age. The militaristic nature of life in Sparta resulted in men being hoplites for their entire lives. Because Sparta was more focused on a military way of life, training was more thorough and extended for much longer than any other city-states. All male citizens over age 20 were expected to be members of permanent professional army. According to Homer's Iliad, hoplites were identified by their spear, shield, and helmet while walking in their tight-line formations. As citizen soldiers rather than professional fighters, hoplites were required to provide their own weapons. As a result, the quality of armor, weapons, and shields varied by wealth and social status. Armor consisted of a cuirass, a helmet, shield, and greaves. The cuirass included a breastplate and a backplate fastened together. Armor was made out of bronze, leather, linen, or some combination of these materials. Greaves protected the shins. They fell out of use during the 5th century BCE. Round concave shields called hoplons were crafted out of wood, leather, and bronze as well, with a band on the inside for the hoplites to put their left arm through. An additional strap on the rim helped the hoplite hold on to the shield as he went into battle. Shields were about 3 feet or 1 meter in diameter. They protected soldiers from chin to shin. Sometimes these shields carried special designs on them. Famous examples include the Gorgon from Greek mythology, or the inverted V of the Spartan hoplites.
A guy with blood that can
Spears known as doru were made out of wood, and the blade made out of iron or bronze. The spear was about 8 feet long. Hoplites also had a short sword, cyclops, made from iron or bronze that was used only when absolutely necessary, such as when a spear broke. Swords were about 2 feet long, making them less useful than a spear in battle because they had a short reach. Bronze helmets included cheek guards and a nose cover, essentially only having holes for the eyes and mouth. Helmets gave soldiers limited visibility. Hoplites focused on their own
this is what you would see if you were wearing those
also unable to see an enemy approaching from the side or rear. Everything a hoplite carried, collectively known as a panoply, weighed between 45 and 70 pounds. A large majority of hoplites were accompanied by a slave who carried the rations in a basket, along with bedding and a cooking pot. Slaves also acted as attendants to the wounded. Hoplites were divided into regiments, and when they went into battle, they formed a phalanx. The phalanx featured lines of tightly organized hoplites, numbering 8 deep. The phalanx moved as one unit, with shields lining the outside, protecting the collective body. Extended spears kept enemies at bay, while music from a nearby flute called an oros dictated the pace. Due to the structure of the phalanx, with the shield covering half of the man to the left, the formation generally moved with a slight angle towards the right. Therefore, sometimes it led to the left flank of the phalanx breaking formation first. Any opposing commanders would put their best troops in their own right flank to encourage the opposing army to break. Once the front lines of the phalanx came into contact with an enemy, the group stayed unified for as long as possible. Once ranks were broken, hand-to-hand combat ensued. Phalanx was a successful military tactic and an effective psychological weapon. At the Battle of Marathon against Persia in 490 BC, the hoplite phalanx proved
why are they so stinky?
with sources, albeit exaggerated ones, indicating that Athens lost 190 men and Persia lost 6,400.
Okay. There.
Wait,
Alright.
how much did we do?
A lot, but not as much as Persia. No, we're not gonna go into their merch. But here, where's the sword part? Where's the sword part? Right. So he said that they had a sword, but they would only use it if a spear broke and if they had to. Why do you guys think?
Because they're not sure.
Because
You
these are very good and long range weapons.
Yes, that's correct. Because as you can see here, right? As you can see in this formation, they had their spears broken. Huh?
They just tear to spear.
Yeah, but that would be too bulky. And you have to get one spear to you have
But they put like so big rocket turret onto them.
because people aren't that strong. And also
Like this big of rock. And it's like snapping into them.
no, but that's also very inefficient. Oh no, oh you mean like how to break this formation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well that is possible except
Rock is like, no.
yeah, that would work except if you throw it on the inside, the outside still doesn't break.
And just throw it exactly at the spear.
Well, okay, like
And then it would, and then if it breaks,
yes, that
even
that is a valid option. That is a valid option, but there's way too much people, so and like a couple rocks. It's
this big rock, and then you just chucked it at the spear, it would most likely like
yeah.
have
These
enough,
things.
they would
Yeah.
destroy
They have
Shields.
yeah, they have shields as well, except if it was like a super big rock, they might like fall back. Well, AK-47 wasn't invented at the time, but if it were, then that would be very effective. Except they had shields. Just shoot their legs, right? Shoot their legs.
shoot everywhere. Just cut their legs off.
Yeah, cut their. Except, however, if. But the thing is, if you bend down to cut their legs, they're just gonna put their spear down and stab you. Anyway, yeah. A ball?
A bow.
A bow. Oh, a bow. No, the thing is, there's too much people, so it's very hard to shoot them without so if you shoot on the front lines, they're gonna stab you. If you shoot behind your teammates, you might shoot your teammates instead. Huh? Oh yeah, also that's how Achilles died, remember? How did Achilles die?
By a car.
No, that's guys. A car isn't like here. Guys, well, it wasn't Hector, but Hector died because he got shot in the ankle, right? So Hector, so that is a valid option, but you have to get very lucky because they're always moving. Anyway, we're gonna continue. We can talk about more military stuff if you guys want to, but not now. No, okay. So before the Trojan War, we talked about this. It's on our tile side. Peleus and Thetis marry. We talked about this, right? When we were talking about the birth of Achilles. The golden apple incident was on one their marriage where Eris, the goddess of discord and conflict, threw down. She wasn't invited because who would want to invite a goddess of conflict, right? Because all she does is cause problems. Yeah, Eris.
Oh.
She throws down a golden apple. Do any of you guys know what the golden apple says? Yeah, for the most beautiful goddess, right? They invited all the gods and goddesses, and it said for the most beautiful goddesses. So three goddesses come out. Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. They go like, oh no, it's mine, right? Because they want. And of course, and then we're gonna go into that later. After Achilles is born, Achilles is dipped in the river Styx. We saw a video on that already, didn't we? Right? Right. And he was about to be completely invulnerable, and then Peleus disrupted it. So wait, let me just check this. Oh no, not that. Okay. We're gonna talk about the golden apple incident. So these three guys is why can't no it's like a thing, right? So they are fighting over the apple. So who do you guys think the apple belongs to? Who do you think is the most beautiful goddess? Aphrodite.
Really that beautiful?
Well,
All
no.
the statues of her are like ugly.
Yeah, well, all the statues of all, yeah, no, the statues are just ugly. Anyway, we can't really determine their beauty because, and also nobody wants to judge, right? Because whoever they chose would mean that the other two would hate them and curse them, right? That's very bad. Yeah, so for example, if you chose Hera, Athena and Aphrodite would start cursing down your whole family. And if you chose any other, the same thing would happen. So no god wanted to choose it. And you might think it's just an apple, right? But if they let someone else have it, basically they're admitting that they're not as beautiful, which they have all gods have high egos, have huge egos. So instead of gods, they go down and find some random mortal that knows nothing of this. And do you guys know who that mortal is? Yeah, Paris. Paris is a shepherd right now because Paris got kicked out of Troy. Do you guys know why? No, and sorta. There was a prophecy saying that Paris, if he stayed in Troy, he would eventually bring its downfall. So they were like, oh, no, get out. So now Paris is a shepherd.
What's the building? I forgot.
Yes.
Wait, but then how come there's a prophecy?
Huh?
Doesn't exist?
Well, no, you see, most of these are scams, but some of them are real. And Iliad is a story, and we know that maybe the Trojan War probably did happen, but not all the stories happened. All right. Anyway, Paris, they asked Paris to choose, right? And since they're all gods, he can't choose because gods can make them like can change their appearance infinitely. So then they start bribing him, right? Hera says, if you choose me, I'll make you the most wealthy king with a huge nation and a ton of stuff, right? A ton of wealth. Now Paris is like, oh, that's great. And then Athena butts in and says, if you choose me, then I'll give you unrivaled military knowledge and make you the best conqueror. And yeah, basically, make him super smart. And lastly, Aphrodite said, if you choose me, I'll give you the most beautiful woman as your wife. So if you were Paris, who would you guys choose?
Probably like military.
So Athena. All right. And you
I go to sleep. Hera.
I choose Hera. Okay. Elon, which one will you choose?
I go to sleep.
No, which one would you choose? No, but the thing is, if okay, that's true. Not choosing will.
I would say Athena because if you conquer everyone, then all of their stuff will go to you.
Yeah. All right. Andrew.
I was just like, nah, I'm leaving.
Andrew, who would you choose?
Wait,
All
no,
right.
it has to be Athena because if you can solve any problem, you can just get all the
That is true. That is
you
true.
can solve world hunger.
That is true. Except world hunger wasn't here right now. All right.
There's
So I'm gonna tell you guys why all these options are bad, and the ones that chose to walk away or sleep are actually right. So first of all, no matter what he chooses, he basically is doomed to fail. Yeah. So if he chose Hera, the giant kingdom, everyone will come and invade him, right? Because everyone wants his riches. He doesn't even know how to run the kingdom. All he knows is to love people and be a shepherd, right? So people are just gonna steal his kingdom. If he had military knowledge, he would go out picking fights, right? Because he thinks he's gonna be so smart. Because he just got all of this knowledge for free. But the thing is, he doesn't have an army, and even if he has knowledge,
If you were him.
yeah, if you were him, no, you guys aren't wrong, but I'm just saying that Paris choosing was a wrong option. I mean, like, if you guys, I'm forcing you guys to choose, so there's nothing you guys could have done about that. But if you guys had a choice, you shouldn't choose because this is concerning gods, right? Never go into God's conflict. Anyway, if he were super smart, he would go invade other people, and they would just fight back, and eventually he would probably die because he doesn't have anything to start off with. He's like he's just yeah. Anyway, we're gonna watch huh? He chose Aphrodite because he wanted a beautiful wife. And unfortunately, that wife was already married. So that's why they caught, yeah, Helen. Helen was already married to Menelaus. So that's why they caused the Trojan War. Any questions before we start this video?
What the? Yo!
Yo, guys, wait, who's this? Who's this?
Yeah, Paris.
That's Athena. That's Athena.
What?
Well, that's Athena. That's Hera and that's Aphrodite. All right, guys. All right, we're gonna start now.
Wait, Athena, who and who?
Hera and Aphrodite. All right, I think so. We're gonna. All right, we're gonna start now.
Today, I'm going to tell you a story.
He's gonna tell you a story.
So if you've read the Iliad or you've heard anything about the Trojan War, you kind of have an idea of what happened. There's a girl named Helen who's a little bit trifling, a big crazy war and a wooden horse, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about what really started the war. I mean, really, really started it. Most people look back and say, well, it's Helen's fault. She's the one to blame, so yeah. According to Greek mythology, that wouldn't be 100% correct. If you go back before Helen messed everything up, you get the real story. So Zeus decided to throw a big, crazy wedding for Peleus, the king of Aegina, and Thetis, who was Athena. They were getting married, and Zeus wanted to throw a big party for them. So all the gods and goddesses were invited to the wedding except for Eris, because, well, she was kind of the goddess of discord, which automatically made her a party pooper. This made Eris very, very, very angry. Dun, dun, dun. So Ares just decided to sneak in. She brought with her a golden apple. That was inscribed with the word Callista, which meant for the prettiest one. Ooh. In fashion, Eris decided to throw the apple in the middle of the wedding. This obviously started a huge fight among all the goddesses. This fight went on until three goddesses left. Hera, goddess of women and marriage, who was also Zeus's wife. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. And Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. When they were tired of fighting, they approached Zeus and demanded he make the decision on who was the prettiest. Zeus was like, no. This was smart of him because, well, when three goddesses approach you and ask who is the prettiest, there is no right answer. Instead, Zeus commanded Hermes to take the golden apple and the three goddesses down to earth where Paris of Troy lived and had him make the decision. Knowing this would be a tough decision for any mortal man, each goddess approached Paris with a bribe. Paris said, if you give me the apple, Paris, I will be extraordinary. I'll make you a ruler of all. Which sounds pretty cool. I mean, who wouldn't want to be the king of everything? I mean, really. After that, Athena approached Paris. If you give me the apple, Paris, I will make you the greatest and wisest of them all, victorious in war and skillful in every craft. I just want to interject here. I am looking at these voices, and they are 100% inaccurate. So back to the story. This was cool because everybody was fighting back then. It's very handy to be very wise and war and, you know, be able to kick anybody's butt. Finally, Aphrodite approached him. She found it humorous what they gave him because she obviously had this one in the bag. If you give the apple to me, Paris, I will give you the daughter of King Tyndareus and the most beautiful woman in the world. As your wife. Aphrodite was aware that Helen was the wife of Menelaus, king of Sparta, but she just simply didn't care. Being the young man that Paris was, he decided to award the apple to Aphrodite
society because, well, Helen was a super hot, I mean, super duper hot, unbelievably hot. Like, oh my gosh, or oh my god. This caused Hera and Athena to hate all Trojans, which explains all along. Soon after that, he set everything in motion so that Paris could convince Helen to run away with him forever. Ah, which sounds kind of sweet, but she did leave her children behind. And these were like the first steps that kind of started the Trojan War, and we all kind of know what happened there. So the moral of the story is you're gonna throw a big party or wedding, invite everybody, and you won't have to worry about any silly little wars. Well, thank you guys for watching. That's all for me. Bye.
So,
All right, so I'm gonna talk a tiny bit more, right? So we're gonna talk about the wedding. So Helen was the daughter of the king of Sparta. So technically Menelaus wasn't the king of Sparta until he married Helen. So what happened was everyone was trying to marry Helen because she was so beautiful, right? So what they did, basically if any of them had married her, then they would fight each other for her, right? So what they did, they drew sticks. And they also signed a contract that if the marriage is violated by anyone, they would team up and beat that guy up. So Menelaus drew it and he married Helen. So basically, when Paris and Helen ran away, that contract came into play and they had to protect um their marriage. So that's why they all went after Paris and started the Trojan War. And for this one, another thing is, this is a different version from the one that I was used to. Mine was that Aphrodite just promised Paris that Helen was the most beautiful one, just promised Paris that he would get the most beautiful woman, and she wasn't actually aware of the fact that Helen was married at the time. And when she did, she was like, "Oh well, I don't really care." And so yeah, if she chose someone else other than Helen, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But of course, she's a goddess and she wants to mess things up. Anyway, so before the Iliad, right? So we're gonna make a very big difference between the Iliad and the Trojan War. The Iliad is the story of the last few weeks of the Trojan War, and the Trojan War is the whole 10 years. So first, they all set sail, right? They sail to Troy and they claim the beach. They set up camp, right? Because they're gonna start fighting them. And Troy is almost invincible. Why? Why? Do you guys know why? Just Trojan Wall. What's so special about the walls?
it's strong.
Why are they? Oh shoot! Why are they strong?
Is that maybe proof?
No. Hassan and Apollo built it, right? So what they do, they raid other cities around Troy, right, for resources, because they can't just keep staying on the beach. So what happens is they end up taking the daughter of one of Apollo's priests as a prize. And the priest prays to Apollo, and Apollo curses the Achaeans with disease. And when Agamemnon, yeah, and that daughter of the priest was taken by Agamemnon as his personal servant. And then Agamemnon, when he realized this, he was like, okay, fine, I'll give her over to you guys.
Big, like straight out dog.
Don't worry. They're just very, very, because they're warriors. Anyway, Agamemnon, he has to give up his personal servant in order for Apollo to stop cursing them. But Agamemnon, he's like, sure, I'll do that. But I'm not I'm not just doing that. I'm also gonna take Achilles' personal servant. So yeah, so Agamemnon basically takes Achilles' thing so he can feel that he hasn't lost anything, right? Because he gave away his personal servant and then takes Achilles'. And Achilles gets really mad, right? Because what right does Agamemnon have?
What line is it?
It's 505. So who do you think is in the right, Agamemnon or Achilles? Achilles, right? Agamemnon's a jerk, right? So Achilles gets so mad over this that he's almost about to stab Agamemnon, and then Athena calmed him down by going down and holding him back. Yeah, Achilles is very strong. And so what happens is Achilles says, well, you can't win the war without my help, so I'm just gonna go back to my tent and I'm gonna pray to Zeus that you guys feel Agamemnon doesn't care. He goes back to his tent and basically all of Achilles' soldiers don't fight anymore. And he prays to Thetis, his mom. And since Thetis has done so many favors for Zeus, Zeus listens to her, and now Zeus is on the Trojan side because Achilles wants the Achaeans to lose without him because he's just so mad. So we're gonna go back a bit.
No.
We're gonna go back a bit. You see here, I said that Zeus is affiliated in this whole thing, right? But he isn't on here. Do you guys want to guess why?
Why?
Because Zeus is technically on the Achilles' side. So when Achilles wants Achaean gods to lose, the Zeus will help the Trojans. When Achilles wants Greek side to lose, Zeus is on this side. When Achilles comes back, Zeus just, goes back over. And since Zeus is so powerful and the Trojans start winning so good, at some point, Hera had to like drug Zeus so that he would fall asleep so that they could actually start winning for a bit. And then Zeus comes back and completely claps these people. No, 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 no.
Why?
Yeah, completely beats them up. And now, so Achilles exits the war, and Agamemnon's like, we can still win this. And now they start fighting. Huh? All the gods. Because well, not all of them, all the ones that were opposing, like Hera, Poseidon, and stuff. All right. Now we're gonna go to the war without Achilles. That's Achilles. Gods make the war continue because all right, so the gods fight and the Trojans. This is like a basic overview. Trojans start to win because of Zeus, and then Patroclus dies. Achilles rejoins the war. Now I'm gonna go through this. The Iliad is a very long book, and I will not be talking through all of it, but I will give you guys tell you guys how the gods make the war continue. So right now, before at this point, the war isn't on, right? All they did was raid other cities. Do you guys want to guess how the gods started the war?
They just did.
Well, sort of. The gods gave them ideas that they should pick a one-on-one on the starters of the war, Paris and Menelaus, and whoever wins the side because they don't want to lose so many people, right? So they do that. Paris, who do you think wins? Yeah, of course. Menelaus wins so easily, and Paris gets saved by Aphrodite, and they're still at stalemate, right? But this time, the gods enchant one person to shoot Menelaus with a bow, and then they're like, "No way, treason!" And they start the war because of that. They agreed to not fight, but they did, and so the war continues, and now it's all-out war. Now the Iliad, the war fully starts. The gods fight as well. They're like helping these sides, right? And they're trying to stop each other from helping, and they do that. So right now, Zeus is on the Trojan side, which is really bad for the Achaeans. So what Hera does is Hera goes and has some fun with Zeus and then drugs Zeus and makes him fall asleep. And now
Fun,
yeah,
fun,
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and now
Oh, God.
they're basically on equal playing ground. And then after a bit they have a lot of gods fight. Ares, guys, hey. Ares, who is Ares? The god of what? War. And Athena is the goddess of combat, right? Combat. So remember, no, combat is like fighting, and war is just like the all chaotic stuff. Guys, do you guys remember Diomedes? Diomedes? Okay, you guys probably don't remember him. Yeah, right. So now we're gonna flip all the way back because you guys don't remember him. Diomedes is this guy. He is very cool because Athena helped him and gave him ability.
That's be smart. He grabbed 2 spears.
Oh yeah, he did get 2 spears.
Where?
Right, you see here, 2 spears.
Yeah.
So Diomedes, Athena made his eyes able to see the gods, and he started tearing through the Trojans. And then at some point, he threw one of his spears. So this guy, right? He's the son of Aphrodite, Aeneas. He also has his own story, which is less well known. He is getting carried away by Aphrodite after he lost, right? After he got beaten up, Aphrodite doesn't want her own son to die. So takes him and tries to run away, and then Diomedes throws a spear and stabs Aphrodite's hand, and Aphrodite drops him and runs away. And then later, Diomedes and Athena, they team up and completely destroy Ares. And Ares goes crying to Zeus, except Zeus is like sort of asleep and he doesn't care about Ares. Anyway, oh, we're not gonna watch that just yet. So now, and then Zeus, and now since the Achaeans are winning, but then Zeus comes back and realizes that the side that Achilles doesn't want to win is winning. So Zeus isn't a Trojan supporter, but he's not a Trojan supporter. No, he just hates Achaeans right now. So Zeus comes back, basically has all of them, basically buff them a ton, especially Hector, and they fight all the way to the ships. Remember how they claimed the beach? Their ships are still there, right? And they travel all the way from across the sea. What happens if their ships are gone? They're stranded here with no way back, right? And they're just gonna get started by the Trojans. They get forced all the way to their camps, away from the battleground to their ships. And now at this point, they already started burning ships, right? So now Patroclus, which is Achilles' best friend, goes is like, Achilles, we're losing way too many people. Can't you just come back? And Achilles is like, no, no, right? Because he doesn't want to come back. And Achilles says, but you know what? I'll give you my armor so you'll look like me, because all Greeks looked sort of alike back then, right? You'll look like me, and then basically you'll intimidate them and also give our allies morale. So Patroclus says yes. He takes Achilles' armor and goes into battle. And Patroclus isn't weak, but he just isn't as strong as Achilles. So he goes in there. They actually make sort of a comeback. They go back to the battlefield until Hector, thinking that Patroclus is Achilles, goes to challenge him and wins against Patroclus, killing him. So now Achilles' best friend is dead. What do you guys think is gonna happen next? Achilles. Okay. Yeah. However, Hector, since that is the legendary armor of Achilles, Hector takes the armor off of Patroclus and realizes that he just got scammed and he didn't even kill Achilles. But he still got Achilles' armor. And once Achilles hears of this, he's so mad that he forgets about all his hate with Agamemnon, and then that also makes it easier for him and Agamemnon to apologize and go back to being buddy-buddy. And now Achilles rejoins the war, but he doesn't have armor. What do you guys think he will do? Yeah. So what happens is Thetis goes to Hephaestus and asks him to make armor. And Hephaestus, does this as a favor, makes Achilles godly armor that's super powerful and super cool.
Wait,
And yeah.
what was different about Achilles' armor before?
Before it was just like normal but very good armor, and now it's like armor that's actually made by gods.
So even better?
Yeah, it's even better.
Armor he started with is like God armor. And then his armor that he got is level 999.
Yeah. Before it's like level one, uh, level one noob vs pro, right? Noob vs pro. No, it's actually more like pro vs, hacker or something. So now Achilles comes back. What is this image referencing? Yeah. What? Shh, guys, quiet down a bit. So the war without Achilles is hard, but they still manage to push through, except the gods make it really difficult. And now once Achilles rejoins the war, what do you think happens? Yeah. Also, Zeus starts helping the Achaeans now. Well, or maybe he just pulled out, but basically what happens is the Trojans don't have a very powerful god supporting them anymore. Oh no, that's just a sculpture. Yeah, that's just a sculpture. Guys, quiet down, quiet down. So Achilles rejoins the war. I'm gonna play this video, okay? This is the movie from Troy. This is where Patroclus dies. The quality isn't too good. Hector is about to kill Patroclus. I'll tell you guys who's Hector. It's a movie. No, Troy is a movie.
Oh, are those the Indians?
Yeah, I think they're on the beach, so yeah. I think that's Menelaus.
Looks like you did that thing.
Hey, that's not very. I think that's Hector, maybe not the one with the beard. That's not Hector. That's See, they're at the ships. They're burning the ships. I think that's Menelaus. Oh, see that's Patroclus. That's Achilles' armor. So you all think it's Achilles, and like, yeah, that's Patroclus with Achilles' armor.
It's also really good.
He's okay. Yeah.
Wait, do they actually think that Metropolis is
Yeah. Because you see the helmet covers so much of his face, they can't even know it. I think that might be Hector. Yeah, those are the choices.
That's so many people. How many people did they think like acted this?
I don't know, probably I don't know.
How many people have
That's a progress.
Why is the beach so deep?
Oh, I don't know.
Like look at the sand. I know there's no plastic.
Yeah, because that's back then. That's Patroclus and oh, that I think that's Hector. That's Hector.
That's calamity.
That's Hector. That's Hector.
What? No.
Oh, good, you guys know. That's Hector. That's Hector. Hey, 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 hey! Don't do that. Put your sock back on.
I'm trying to kill Hector.
Put your sock back on. They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight. Okay, well after the three off, we're gonna start.
Go.
Oh, they're fighting. Hector's the one with the spiky helmet. Patroclus is the the one that's Hector. The one that just died is Patroclus. Such a goofy guy.
Why is he falling so slowly? He's so low.
That's Hector. Aiden, don't do that again. Don't do that. Look, he takes off his helmet, right? I realized that it isn't even Achilles. That's Patroclus.
Still alive.
Yeah, because he didn't cut forward. He just cut.
It's great.
Like, no, I just killed the X.
Ugh. Yeah. It's like spitting blood right now.
Just kill him. Just kill him. And then it'll be like a big death. I mean that wasn't a bad act because Patroclus was suffering because he was cut but he wasn't dead. So he was suffering. If he just killed him, that was
So painful.
yeah, that would. So Hector isn't a bad person, he's just a warrior.
I convinced the war.
I think that's yeah, he's like enough for one day, and they both agree because see this they say it's a war, but it's more like a game, right? It's like, oh guys, we're just gonna put this on pause, we'll continue tomorrow. Oh, it's yours? This functions? Whose is this?
I don't know. I mixed it up.
You were going to sell home to it. Setting home.
Yeah.
Yo, it's so bloody.
Okay, I think that is all.
That's
Oh, we can see the death of Hector tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow is when I talk about what happens after Achilles comes back and yeah. Achilles is Zeus helps Achilles. So basically the strongest hero and the strongest god are on this on like basically one, so they basically kill all the not best friends. Well, no, we're gonna talk about the Odyssey and then we're going. All right, so oh no.
Yo, mom.
All right, that's it, and I'm just gonna stop recording because we're gonna run out of battery. Quick.